What up, y'all? It's finally time to get back to some Tales of Arise. I was able to do some side quests, but for the most part, I needed to level up. I need to unlock this next zone so I can get some better weapons, just to make things easier. I believe that is this direction.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
What's this thing?
Now, where are you, owl? I'll be around here somewhere. Get these guys out of my way.
This will be a delicious piece of cake.
Going in.
That's it. Take it.
You're mine! Damn it!
I'll take out the leg with my heel.
Explosive ring! Slide!
Going in. Take this.
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Going in.
No escape! Rising Wyvern!
I'm gone.
Rising
Nothing.
Phoenix!
I'll heal you all. You're feistier than you look.
Can't change the future without getting your hands dirty.
Dramatic.
Right there. Mine.
You're mine!
Tiger Blade.
Well, Rocky.
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry. I've got your back.
Hoo hoo hoo.
There it is.
Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo. Hoo hoo hoo. Look, Hootle. One of your buddies. Hoo.
Out of my way.
Here I come! It's over!
Radiant light. Here.
Far enough.
Photon. Dance in the wind. If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Tiger Blade.
Mirage! Rising Wyvern! Stardust!
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara.
Rising Wyvern! Stardust! Mirage! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Rising Wyvern! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! The true power of the blazing sword.
It's only as strong as the one who wields it.
You truly mean that? Thank you. There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Alright, let's give fishing a shot. I've been waiting
Wouldn't it be
to
easier to
unlock
simply
this.
use astral arts to catch the fish and be done with it?
That misses the whole point of going out to fish.
I do not know what to do.
Not my lucky day, I guess. Yeah! There we go. We can get a good meal out of this fella.
I can't believe you caught that with a rod. Amazing.
Yeah, that was horrible. I'm gonna have to try this a few more times. I won't spend too long here.
There we go.
That was easier.
I'll catch something bigger next time.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
Okay, a few more times.
Yeah! All right. Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Nice! You caught it!
That's probably the only thing in this fishing hole.
Ha!
Alright, one more time, one more time.
Reel it in.
Damn it. Ah, crap.
I'll let you go this time.
Well, now I gotta do it again, obviously.
All right.
Big thing is I keep holding buttons down. I don't need to just tap it. Tap the directions, tap the button. Makes it easier. Now I want another
We can
hard
get a
one.
good meal out of this fella.
Let's see what that
Hopefully
hard
it
one
tastes
is like.
better than it looks.
I'll probably do most of my fishing off stream.
Ha! I've got something.
Alright, that'll be the last one.
Anybody could reel in that.
Not too shabby, friend.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us. Okay!
Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know what our next ability was going to be, but it is going to be that now. Oh, that is a good one. Plus 20 elemental defense for finishing the set. Yeah, I'll get that walking crag once I can get some new gear.
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need...
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renin cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me. But my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
I don't really need to rest yet, so I'm gonna bother. I want to get this next zone unlocked.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renins.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renin doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
Some biscuits.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renins are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danins in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danins in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Okay.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! Rising
This one's mine!
I'm gone! That's it!
You're on! You're
I'm not
finished!
so good with airborne targets. More for the side pot.
We got flyers!
I've got this. Let a marksman handle it.
Rising Wyvern! All yours! Rising Wyvern!
Going in. It's over.
Rising Speed Shield!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
See you
Now!
continue on in that
You're
vein.
mine!
Yes, my lady?
Something you...
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Right here.
Your turn.
I got you.
You're mine! You're on! Okay, here I go.
These guys were level 27.
I got it.
Got what?
I can chop up vegetable scraps and use them in the
I'm only
seasonings.
23 and 24.
Should've known that's what it was gonna be about.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my art. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
Rising now!
Tempest
Tear!
whirl.
Ooh, Hurricane Thrust.
Rising Wyvern! You're on!
This one's mine.
Stardust!
Mega ray.
Rising Phoenix!
Mega ray. Hope this works.
Here I come!
Going in. Burning strike. Energy. Raging
Rising
burning
Wyvern!
strike.
Glacial
Spear. Pierce evil. Going in.
Take
Blaze
this.
lancer. Tiger blade. Astral energy. Wow. One in a
Dragon Swarm!
Take this.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Sleep now.
Strike! Prepare to be
Look
healed!
at this one. Mega
One
ray.
more! Explosive ring!
Lightning orb. Target
Here I
blade.
go.
Let's go. Do
Rising
it. Raging
Wyvern.
cascade. Astral energy. Full throttle.
Now!
Glacial
Take
spear.
this!
In the wind.
Anything in armor is all mine.
Can't touch him there.
Take this! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and...
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine this sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dan in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know about the artifacts. Oh yeah, definitely no low attack limit. It's gonna be good.
That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
With this, I can become even stronger.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
And my baby's up, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. Find the save point. I'm just gonna go back. And I'll save it here and cut it, and then we'll pick this up again.
Finally,
some
some
other
open
time.
space again.
No need to eat though, I already have food active.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Kisara, let's talk for a bit.
Sorry for rambling on so much about my past earlier.
Don't sweat it. It was fun hearing you reminisce about the good old days.
Come on, you don't have to pretend with me. I know I can tend to go on sometimes when it comes to my brother.
You said it, not me. Anyway, I don't think it's something for you to be embarrassed about.
Hey, Alphen. When you were a kid, was there ever a time when you had to bury someone younger than you?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm guessing that you have, though.
Yeah. During the previous crown contest, with the Lord before Dohalim. Life back then was truly hell. I think that's why I tried to ignore what Miguel was telling me for so long. Because I was afraid of going back to such a dark time. Of losing hope. I wanted to believe in our paradise so much that I doubted the one person I should have trusted most. I don't blame blame Dohalim for that. I simply didn't want to face facts. And I ended up trying to project my ideals onto everyone else.
It's strange. Whenever you and Dohalim talk about Menancia, it's always like it's some big failure. We're talking about fixing 300 years worth of damage here. Isn't it a bit optimistic to think it was all going to be resolved after only 5?
You might be right. Maybe it was a mistake when Menancia... No. When I decided to stop seeing the darkness in our society. I have to admit the truth. To myself, first of all. I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Rise and shine. We're almost ready to leave.
And with that, we will pick it up again next time.